Welcome, dear viewer. I'm your host, Carmila. We are now entering the spookiest month of them all. To keep the spirits alive, I gift you my offering. Now, turn off your lights, relax, and enjoy. She had curls against a cascading ponytail, or at least that's what her silhouette would suggest. Heroin chic, standing Fanta black against a dim kitchen just before dawn. Coffee wafting in the ether. I didn't know anything about this woman, who she was or why she was in my house preparing for my waking moments. "You don't belong here," I murmured, wiping my eyes in half somnambulant stupor. She didn't say anything, just stood there in the shadows like a wax figure. I get pretty lonely here, so whoever you are, you can stay. I think I'll go back to bed now. It's 5:30. I went to my bedroom and slept. I awoke many times, but just kept going back to sleep. I got up 13 hours later at 6:30 p.m. My ex-wife was supposed to drop off my daughter today, but I guess I slept through it. I checked my phone, which was on Do Not Disturb, and had 43 missed calls and almost as many texts, but I preferred not to read them. All my clothes were dirty, but I chose not to wash them. I had an important doctor appointment at 3, but I elected to sleep. Still in bed, I could smell a fresh batch of coffee, and I knew the woman, this Jane Doe, was still downstairs. All day I dreamt about my house growing up, its enormity, and all the unexplored rooms it had, particularly a library. My knees buckled on account of the rarity I actually walked these days. I was becoming weak on a molecular level. Nothing but bone with a little meat slattered on. When I reached the foot of the kitchen, she was there in the shadows once more. I couldn't tell if it was dusk or dawn. Have I just slept for 24 hours? And then a whisper reached its ways across the room and reverberated through my eardrums. "Wake up! Wake up!" she muttered. "I'm awake." And once again, she said it. "Wake up!" "I'm sure I am. I'm certain." And then she whispered something stupefying. "They're holding your hand." "Who?" "Everyone who loves you. Now, wake up." "I'm so tired. I think I'm going back to bed." "Drink," she said, arm extended with a mug of hot coffee. "No, thank you, Jane. Time to go back to bed." A sigh of disappointment from the shadowy woman in my kitchen. I slunk back up the stairs and fell asleep. And all day, all night, I had one dream that remarkably occurred in sequential order. There was a man who looked just like me, getting hit by a car walking home. Then I was watching myself from inside the hospital room, and I was on a ventilator. My ex-wife and daughter holding my hands, crying and wiping their eyes. Sherry, my ex, shook me and asked me to wake up 43 times. "So?" a man in a doctor's coat asked cavalierly as he stepped in, as if he's seen this 1,000 times before. "It's not working." Mia looked up at her mother and they hugged. "We have your authorization?" Sherry shut her eyes tight, let out one more gasp, and nodded. Mia walked out of the room. Sherry reached after the cord of my ventilator, but couldn't pull it. I can't, she said. The doctor had a nurse assist her out of the room before he finally unhooked my machine. I awoke in a fever, sweat on my forehead. I'd never had such a vivid dream. 5:30 a.m. I now knew why I kept sleeping. I jumped out of bed, and as I rushed for the door, I noticed that the smell of coffee had vanished. And when I reached the bottom, I saw that Jane Doe, whomever she was, had disappeared. I felt tired and just went back to bed, and did so from then on. Such a lonely place. I should have listened. I just wanted to give my thanks to for letting me use their story to narrate, and I'll see you all tomorrow.